What's up, YouTube, and welcome to Travel Adventures with Eric B. I'm Eric B, and today we're going to talk about 12 things that you should know about renting vehicles on the 12 Vlogs of Christmas. So everything that you ever wanted to know about renting vehicles, let's get the party started. Let's go. First thing you should know is oftentimes airport rentals cost more. Now, sometimes it's more convenient to go ahead and rent your vehicle from the airport. But if you can avoid that, maybe there's a shuttle bus you can take or a local bus that you could take a little bit into the city, maybe just a mile or two into the city. You may save a lot of money renting a vehicle just by leaving the airport by a couple miles or so. So you should do a little research on this beforehand. See if there's rental companies much the same that's close to the airport but not at the airport, and see if you can catch an Uber there or maybe catch the bus for really cheap there and see what the rates are, because you could save a substantial amount of money less by not renting from the airport location. Options for renting cars other than just car rental services, such as Turo. Turo is an app that's similar to Airbnb, where you have hosts that put up their cars, not always brand new cars, sometimes older cars, sometimes more luxurious cars, but different cars they put up for you to rent. Most of the time they meet you at private places, sometimes at the airport, but different places to rent from. And some people just hire a personal driver. And I will say this, if you're in Central America, South America, maybe even Mexico, one of the countries that are a little bit poor, it's not a bad idea to rent a personal driver. So if you're in one of the major cities, big city USA, or you're out of the country in a major city, don't forget about the public transportation, the metros and the buses and things like that, because you can catch a metro or a bus and get around sometimes and get to the places that you need to get to for cheaper than you can rent a vehicle. But obviously, if you're somewhere where the system doesn't work as well, which is most of the USA, you're going to need to rent a car instead or Uber around. Now, this is all going to tie into other things later on in the video, but you should know that upsells, the people that work behind the counter tend to work for commission. So, and they're making commission, they're going to try their hardest to sell you on different things. You may need those things, we're going to tie them in, and sometimes you may not need those things, but they're going to try to upsell, so you need to know that. Don't book directly. This is something right here that's a little controversial in my opinion, because I'm going to contradict myself in the next one. But the reason why I say don't book directly is because oftentimes you can go to Priceline, you can go to all different type of price aggregators, and you can find cheaper prices than you can on the actual website for these rental car companies. I found so many times on Enterprise and different ones $40, $50 a day, but when you go to the actual website, all of a sudden you're finding $80 and $90 a day. Next is get into the loyalties program. Now, this one I need to explain a little bit, because I'm contradicting myself from the previous one, because in the previous one I told you don't book direct. Now, this one right here I say get in the loyalties program. Now, if you get in the loyalties program, of course you're going to book direct. This is the thing. A lot of times credit cards will have, you know, American Express and things. You'll have different things in there where you get Hertz Gold membership or something like that. If it's offered, take it, and you know you can get upgrades and things like that. But you run into a situation where you don't book direct and you go Priceline or something like that, and it's a much better deal. Sometimes it's good to take the better deal, but you know it's always good to get into the loyalties program. And if you can get free upgrades and get different deals and coupons and free things, I say still get in the loyalties program if you can. So kind of controversial off the other one, but either way, if you're going to rent cars a lot, I say get in the loyalty program. If you're not going to rent a lot, then don't get in the loyalty program. Research for discounts. Yeah, and when I say check for discounts, I'm mostly talking about a site like Auto Slash, and there's other ones as well too, where say you're going on a trip in 2 months, you could go into the website and put in your information for when you want the rental, and they'll show you the prices for different companies. They'll send you emails pretty much daily if a price changes, and you get the best rate that way. So just make sure you're checking for discounts, as well as if you got AAA or something like that. Sometimes you have programs where you'll get discounts on rental cars and you don't even know it. So make sure you're doing your research on your credit cards. Make sure you're checking if you got AAA, if you're in any other type of little programs like that. Do your research to see where you can get discounts on rental cars, because they can get very expensive at times. And recently they've really gotten expensive at times and hard to find even. Okay, so the next thing I put was location for add-ons. And there's two things in particular is the reason why I put location for add-ons. If you're in a rural area, like say you're in Ireland or you're in Scotland or you're in Iceland or you're somewhere like that, and you're worried about the internet, anytime you're in a rural area, then the GPS is an add-on that you're probably going to want to get. Now, if you're somewhere else in the US or you're somewhere in a big city, I would not get a GPS, because with a GPS, if you're in a big city, I'm pretty sure you got a GPS on your phone and you got the internet on your phone, so you're not going to have any issues with a GPS on your phone and working if you are in a bigger market, bigger city, at least a decent sized city. But if you're out somewhere rural, I recommend you get the add-on and you pay the extra money for the GPS. Now, the next one's kind of up to you, because you get the toll pass thing a lot, like when you're in Florida and places like that. There's Florida's Turnpike, and a lot of times there's these bridges that you have to cross, and you have to pay toll fees everywhere, the Sun Pass, and different other passes around the country. So it's up to you if you think you're gonna ride around enough and it's gonna be cheaper to do this, and you'll pay the extra money to put the pass in your window. Sometimes they'll send you the bill later on, and you don't have to worry about paying up front. So that's kind of up to you, but that's something you need to research based off of your location. Make sure you're checking the rental car for damage. Next one's pretty simple. Check for damages. In the past, you always had a person, and it's still the case sometimes, you'll have a person that they send you to your vehicle at the rental services. They'll walk around, do a walk around with you and check and see if there's a scratch bigger than a quarter or something like that, and they'd write it down. But these days now, oftentimes, they'll send you to a vehicle and they'll say, hey, go pick out your vehicle as long as it's mid-size or as long as it's a compact and you have a section. So now the interaction's different, and you don't always interact with a person there to go check the vehicle. So you got to make sure you're doing some checking, because let's say there's a big old dent on the back of the car, and you just go hop in and start driving around, and then you bring it back, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, there's a big old dent. This dent wasn't here because the company may have checked it and they didn't know about it. All of a sudden they're charging you a big fee for the dent. So you need to make sure you check these things, take pictures of them, and make them aware of it when you're getting ready to drive out of the lot. There's usually someone at the end to tell them, hey, there's a dent in the back before I take it off the lot. You should definitely know to return your vehicle clean. Now, cleaning fees are real. A lot of people may not know about the cleaning fees, but they are definitely real. So if you go trash up a car, you leave it really dirty, you leave bags of trash and things like that, because when you bring them back to these rental services, they're looking to turn the vehicle over quickly, because sometimes people are renting a vehicle and they don't have one available right away. So when they get there, they're looking to turn it over quickly. It's like they're waiting for it. So you bring it in, and you bring it in dirty or filthy. They don't mind adding more stuff to your bill. And oftentimes we don't even check our bill. We just get out and we're just like, okay, we're good to go. And then all of a sudden we got a big old fee attached to our bill. So you need to make sure you bring the vehicles back clean. I recommend, having a trash bag, maybe a Circle K bag or 7-Eleven. I'm not from Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana. We don't have 7-Eleven anymore. But, have a bag in your car, take all your trash, your drinks. You got kids making a mess. Put it all in trash bags and dump it as you go. You should also know if you're going to need to buy their insurance or you're going to use your own insurance. Now, this is a big one right here to talk about, the insurance. Okay, I mentioned earlier about the add-ons. They're always going to try to sell you their insurance, and they're going to tell you, if you damage the car and you buy this insurance, you're going to walk away clean and not have to worry about anything. And you're talking like $15 to sometimes even $20 a day for insurance, 5 days. That adds up really fast. A lot of credit cards offer coverage on the insurance by your credit card, and they'll take care of it if anything happens. Now, you use your own insurance. That's always an option, but you may not want to end up in that situation where your insurance premium is going to go skyrocket because you got into a wreck or something like that. You need to do your research and find out what's best. Can I use this credit card for it? Can I use my own insurance? Can I buy a third-party insurance, which some companies will try to tell you can't use a third party. Yes, you can use a third party, whether they tell you can or not, because Fox told me I couldn't use a third party that I bought for $11, but I can, Fox. So just do your research on that. Last but not least, you should definitely know about the one-way rental fees and returns. Now, what I'm talking about is if you're going to rent a car in Las Vegas, you're flying into Vegas, but you're flying out of Los Angeles, so you're going to drive the car back to the airport in Los Angeles, and you're going to drop it off in Los Angeles. Now, oftentimes, the fees are absolutely outrageous on these one-way rentals. I've looked them up before. I've never done one. I was tempted to do one, and when I saw the prices, I was like, nah, I'm going to pass on this, homie. So just make sure you're looking up those fees and trying to find the best rates you can on a one-way rental. Sometimes it's cheaper to just go enjoy Vegas in your rental car or not your rental car, and then go catch a cheap flight from Vegas to Los Angeles, and then go rent a car there again in Los Angeles if you need to rent a car, or you can always use a public transportation or Uber, but sometimes it's better to do that. Those one-way rentals will really get you. And that's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I ask that you please hit the like, please hit the subscribe button, please hit the bell notification so you can know when I have more material coming out in the future, and help us to continue to grow as a travel community. And as always, remember, live today, grow today, tomorrow's never guaranteed. Peace and Christmas. Merry Christmas. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Leave comments below. I love to interact.